What up, everybody? This is Dwayne and Daryl with KDD.
Hey, y'all.
We got a special guest, a regular at this point, with the show, Miss Ajaya Divine.
Peace, peace.
And what we're going to do this evening is talk about the war on women, or the gender agenda. So, I'm trying to think how I can even start with this.
Man. Well, first start that this is not about feminism. This is not that. It's a part of it, but this is not a pro-feminist. At least I'm not. I don't know. Y'all might be male feminists. I don't know how that works, but
no, we're not rapists. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's what that is? A male feminist?
A male feminist is definitely a rapist.
Well, former male feminist.
Damn, nigga, really?
We're not going to talk about what happened 10 years ago on a Friday night. Just keep on going. God.
Damn, nigga.
But yes.
Yes, please continue. Not Daryl, you.
No, I just think for me, a part of the war on women is feminism. And how especially, women who identify as Black being feminists, like that is a war on your family, on the Black family, on Black men, on everything.
Right.
Because whenever, which I've probably said this before in the podcast at some point, whenever feminists gets whatever it is that they're after, which I don't know what exactly the goal is, but whenever they get what it is they're after, Black women will be discriminated against for being Black first, and they will never receive those rewards. So basically you have Black women bashing Black men and making, creating this rift within the community. And then once they get what they want, they go back with their white men. And now our community is still broken, and now women are left defenseless by themselves, still raising children, still having to work, still having to do everything on top of dealing with whatever the next attack will be.
So basically, what I gather from that, metaphorically speaking, is that Black women are low-key the fat friend that's, the enforcer that's making sure everyone gets home safe, but at the end of the day, they're the only one leaving without a nigga. Yeah,
basically. That's basically it. Like, let us use you and your power and your, because, Black women have it. Like, when Black women speak, people listen. When they're upset, people get moving or, or whatever. So let us use all of that energy that y'all have and all of that whatever, and let us use that to get attention, to get what we want, to get to the forefront. And then once we get what we want, guess where we're going? Back with our man. And Black women have a tendency to just stay angry. And there's been no community building, only community destroying. And there has been, because I consider myself a Pan-African for a little while. And there was a feminist movement within the Pan-African movement. But if you weren't Pan-African, you wouldn't know about it because they always kept a united front. But there was still a feminist movement within the Pan-African movement to make sure women got the same respect. The women who did the work were getting recognized. That was within the Pan-African movement. But if you weren't in it, you wouldn't know, because the most important thing is the united front, which is the man, the woman, and the child. But we don't seem to understand the game being played.
So I'd have to ask, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I can see it being both, but in this case, what do you think it was? Do you think it was a positive thing or a negative thing?
What, for it to be within the?
Well, the fact that it was hidden, basically.
For the Pan-African movement, it's a great thing, because if divide and conquer, so if people know that there's quarrel and there's something within, now we can come and divide and break up your movement based on those differences, which kind of happened with the Black Panthers towards the end.
Right.
When Elaine, I can't think of her last name, took over the Black Panthers, they had kind of a division between the men and the women, and there being a lot, at least reportedly from her book, a lot of division along those lines, and that kind of pulled the party apart, where the women were trying to be a little more political and go that route, and the men were still more radical and didn't want to feel like they were being controlled by the women. So there caused some division, and it broke up. But if y'all can maintain that we still have the same goals at the end, but work out our differences with, behind closed doors,
right?
Fix them, and still, because if it's out in the open, then that becomes the focus, and people can keep focusing on that, and your energy has to keep going to that instead of it actually being your real goal. You know what I mean? Like, so I think it's a good thing. It's a good strategy. Yeah. Now, for the people who, for women who are saying that they're still not getting the recognition, then you have to be willing to destroy the movement for that recognition. And is it worth it?
So, I mean, it's basically like, and I'm going to just be doing a whole bunch of metaphors and shit. I've been very, very metaphorical lately. So this is basically like a union, a job with a union, but like only people that know about the union is people in the union, which is how it should be in a union. Because once everybody else on the outside finds out about the union, they shutting everything down. Yeah, I'm going to say that over again.
Basically. I mean, it's all strategy. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want, hell, if you can go with the sports analogy. If your two best players ain't getting along off the court, do you want everybody to know that?
Shaq and Kobe.
Exactly. If we can hide it, and y'all can still argue and stuff all in the locker room and fight, hell, I don't care, all that. But when we step on the court, if we can have a united front and still win games, then hey, we can deal with that. But if everybody knows it, now we've given them an extra tool to use against us.
Exactly. And black people have enough experience, having unified front as a toxic couple to know what time it is. So the fact that we can't do this when it counts is some bullshit.
It's almost predictable at this point.
It really is.
It's almost like, and then any black woman who considers herself a feminist, honestly, if you consider yourself a feminist and you haven't done any research on past feminist movements, then you're just walking right into a trap door, because we know that in the 70s there was a feminist movement. Well, late 60s, 70s, like there was a feminist movement, and what did women get from that? What did black women specifically get from that? Hell, in some states, they marched down to the courthouse and had to stand outside. Couldn't even go in the damn courthouse after fighting for feminism. Walked all the way down there and had to stand outside. While the white women went in.
You can't be mad from outside the courthouse. You can't even get in.
60s and 70s. That's the wrong time for a feminist movement. That's when.
So it's
but again, it's like you're just dividing everything up. It's just like
that was a wrong time. We had some real black leaders back then.
Yeah,
60s and 70s.
Yeah,
that was a wrong time. Now I guess would be a good time, but back then, that's.
It's just they wanted to stretch out the dope and dilute everything instead of keeping it pure.
Oh, they doing it now.
Yeah, and I was listening to this chick on YouTube, and she was talking. She's very I guess what people would consider transphobic. But
okay,
she was like, "Yo, get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. I'm tired of you men trying to like invade our spaces and shit like that, trying to replace us." We even fucking up the whole game. They're fucking up the prostitution game because they wanted to do shit that most women aren't. Prostitution is, look, niggas is still niggas. Even if you cut your dick off, you still a nigga. And niggas will go, ain't no valley high, ain't no mountain low for some fucking.
For a nut. However it gets there. However you're tasting it. That is very true. I'm just saying. I don't want to leave anybody. I want to be inclusive, of however, whatever people like. Yeah. But that's just like, I mean, so then you go into that. If you add in the feminists that are trans inclusive, you are literally pushing patriarchy. You are saying that a man, as I don't care, you can cut your penis off, put a dress on, change your name to Caitlyn, you are still biologically a male at the end of the day. And you're saying that that man can be just as much woman as you and has faced the same struggles and has the same obstacles. No, not at all. And it's not true. So, like, you're literally taking a male and putting him in the woman's position, but yet calling yourself a feminist for women. Like, what are we talking about here? That just seems so insane to me that I can't believe that people are actually pushing it. Like, and it be black women the most, like, or at least maybe because that's the more majority of maybe my crowd or on different social media. Like, anytime I say anything about a trans woman not being a woman in the same sense that I am, it's always black women who are like, oh, you're transphobic or have all of this to say. And I'm like, y'all are literally saying that a male is as much, and in some case, a better woman than someone that's actually born a woman, but you're fighting for women's. I'm so confused. Like, I'm just so confused because y'all are literally siding with a man over a woman. Like, because they hate me too. Like, I've been called transphobic.
I mean, honestly,
numerous times.
If you're thinking about it from, how history has been, like, if this was like a situation where like women was getting infiltrated, y'all fucked up. Like,
it was completely infiltrated. What do you mean?
Like,
they gave Caitlyn Jenner Woman of the Year. What kind of fuck is that? What is going on in the world?
And the funny shit is, from a metaphorical standpoint, again, this is just how I am. My bad. Sorry, not sorry. But it basically says that, like, because, a lot of people is talking about, like, trans women are real women. So it's basically saying that all you have to do to be a woman is to wear a dress and be dickless. However, when it comes to, like, being a quote-unquote real man, not even actual men, boys that grew up are considered real men. So it just shows you, like, how society places value on things.
Like, and then that goes into the point of, like, the war, part of the war is getting women to devalue their wombs. Like, that is a big part of being a woman. I'm not saying that's what makes you who you are, but that is what makes you a woman. Like, that is what makes you the female of the species, is that you have a womb that carries the child. Like, and now you're saying that this man who doesn't have it and has never had it, and the only way he's going to get it is to steal yours, because we know when they start doing these transplants, they're going after black women's wombs. They don't want I don't even want to go there. But, like, like, man, like, there's, and you don't even appreciate what you have because you're saying that this man without it is just is a woman just like you, and he's not. And now you don't even value him. Then you got women that are like, we don't. I don't want to have children, so, like, I'm more than my womb. I was like, and then women think that the only value of the womb is, like, actually having children, like, not the spiritual connection through the organ, not the fact that it is a vital organ in your body and has other uses. Like, women who get hysterectomies have other parts of their body start to shut down. Like, it's not just about it being someone. If you don't have children, your womb is still valuable, even though you don't have children. It's a vital organ in your body. Like,
big facts.
Period.
Do other races do this besides black and white, or is it just black and white?
Funny shit. You talk about, like, hysterectomies?
Like, do Korean, Asians, Jewish, Indian, do they do this, or is it just black and white that does this?
I think it's high U.S. culture. So, like, if you're somebody who's here and has, like, but, like, a lot of Asians and Indians will stay in touch with their culture even though they might be in the U.S. for a generation or two. Like, they'll still be very in their, home culture. But, like black and white people, and really now Latinos or Hispanic, and Spanish speaking, the Spanish speaking Browns. Yeah, exactly. they are kind of black people really don't have a culture outside of slave culture. White people are pretty much consumerism that everybody has pretty much adopted. So like,
only when they like
they're the people that are in like doing it because they just follow whatever U.S. culture is.
Only when they in America they do this, not like when they in their own country and stuff. But I guess because they can't afford it too.
Yeah.
And the doctors aren't
would
like
you really
that
trust getting a hysterectomy in like fucking like Cambodia or some shit?
So I guess it's like an American thing then.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. We're the plug for
the downfall of America.
Orphan harvesting and shit. I mean, yeah.
And while everyone's talking about police brutality, while black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die during childbirth.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about that. Because we're distancing ourselves from motherhood. Like, that's what feminism is doing, is like having women distance themselves from motherhood.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and try to identify outside of that. And I'm like, that's not feminine. Like, that equality, if you want to talk about equality, it would be women and men being valued for their natural roles, for their natural gifts, not trying to compete and do the same. Like, that's not equality. That's you trying to be something you're not. That's you chasing something that you're not. Everybody should be valued for their natural role and not be oppressed because of it, or women shouldn't be limited to just being mothers or not being able to have a life after they have children or anything like that. That's what we should be talking about, not fucking wages and I don't know, whole culture. And like, I honestly, I put this question out every couple of months. Like, what is the feminist agenda? Like, what are y'all trying to accomplish?
They want to be able to be douchebags like dudes. That's really what it is. They just want to be douchebags. They want the permission to be a douchebag.
Yeah, I still don't know what exactly is the ultimate goal. Me too. I'm confused. I really don't know.
I know, like, abortion rights. Okay.
Fuck them kids.
Another thing. Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, yo, if y'all would actually just get in touch with your womb and start studying your cycle, you could pretty much avoid getting pregnant for the most part.
You know any feminists we can have on the show? Like,
nah, they're not. They're very unstable creatures.
I really don't know what's the ultimate goal. I'm like confused on
because they don't know either.
What they trying
like
to achieve.
That's the thing about it. Like, what I hear, like, literally, you hear abortion rights. I hear about wages, women getting paid less than men. You hear about...
They just don't want to look themselves in the mirror, their own personal problems in the mirror, so they rather just...
Yeah, it's a mixture of a bunch of different things.
And there is the, rape, molestation,
that's the type
of type of things, too.
That's the type of person, if I'm in a relationship, I just stop, look at them in their face, and be like, shut the fuck up. Like, what is your problem?
But apparently feminist pussy is like, the bee's knees, but
like, nah, you keep the pussy. Nope, I'm cool. Nope, stay away from me.
I mean, they're not using it to its full potential anyway. So anyway, but yeah, it's a bunch of misguided shit, and it's definitely an attempt to basically like pit men and women against each other, while and again, it's not even our fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not. Black women are only the so-called victims of oppression due to their sex or gender because of integration.
Yep. If y'all would have stayed
we never integrated
over there with the moldy,
if we never integrated,
we
wouldn't have been. Because I mean, you hear about black women owning businesses straight out of slavery, like.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm in India. It's Madam C.J. Walker, like, millionaire. You know what I mean? Like, that's not our culture. Like, that's not our culture. Integration is what introduced us to that.
Exactly. And I mean, I've always had this joke, and I'm actually this is my first time saying it on the air, but I was just like, well, how do you respond to a feminist who's like, oh, I gotta go to work again. I fucking hate my job. You say you're welcome. Like,
I mean, hell, that was the first trick of the first feminist movement.
Yeah,
was getting the woman out of the house because really she had all the power because she was in the house raising the children. That's the power.
Took her out the house, decided to hit her with that tax, created a whole child care system, which is a scam. And Just took it from
And
there.
now we get to teach your children what we want them to know so they can continue to work for us and empower our system. And you get to work, and now you have to have really two incomes in order for your house to survive, when before feminism, you really only needed one.
Yep. And
Man, they so cold with it. Like, so
yep.
cold.
What if they actually win and achieve their goal, whatever goal that they haven't planned? Then what the hell does that mean for us? Like,
I mean,
what happens? Like, these are just questions I want to ask them personally. Like, because I really am confused in the whole movement and what's their motivation and what drives them. Like,
Honestly, this is okay. I'm probably gonna. I mean, I'm already good at a lot of shit anyway, but I honestly feel like for a lot of Black women, they take their personal issues that they've had with men,
mm-hmm.
and they've turned it into a part of the feminist movement. Like, just because that nigga did you dirty don't mean that he's an oppressor. Like, I get it. You could be mad. You know what I mean? Like, you can have feelings about it, but like, that doesn't mean that he's a part of the oppressive system. Like, Black men don't have no power in this country.
Yeah, how he oppressing
They're not
you?
making y'all wages.
yeah,
They're not setting wages. They're not, like, come on now.
How he oppressing you just because he driving your car and fucking other bitches before he drop you off to work? Like, I don't.
Man,
most feminists are lesbians, right? Or no, they like actually like dudes.
Hey, let's not generalize anything. Yes.
Because
I would say a lot of them are.
that's what it sounds like.
And I mean, that is one. That's a statement.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It sounds
So,
like most
like,
of them are lesbians.
I would know, because I know a lot that aren't, that will still identify as feminists that aren't lesbians, but there's a large group that are. Don't get it, like, there's a large group that are, but and so I understand their hate for men. They don't even fucking like men. Like, in any way, shape, or form. They're like, give me your sperm and go. So I understand, like, their take on it. But for, like, women who consider themselves heterosexual, I don't get it. Like,
the majority.
what are you fighting for? I don't.
The majority of the attack is on Black men, right? Not on white men or no other man, just Black men.
Well, like
exactly.
Yeah, because I know Black feminists love them some white dick. Man. Look.
Oh man.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, if they were straight, they would be with somebody other than Black. That does make sense. But
yes,
you actually being a feminist and being with a Black man, and a Black man actually accepting that as your girl. What type of? All right, let me.
Look.
No.
And you know,
And
just to touch on the whole lesbian thing, is just like, I mean, if you have a hatred for men, that's cool, whatever. But like, if you hate niggas, why you were fucking wearing flannel shirts and trying to look like a dude that you know what?
Because they're trying to imitate. You know what? And I mean, I grew up for first almost 13 years of my life. I was a hardcore tomboy, and it's. For me, I'll speak for me, and I think it can probably be generalized a little bit. It's because you learn early that the woman or the female is the weaker sex. So you're trying to imitate the strength that you associate with masculinity. So you're imitating something, but at the same time, you have hate for it. Like, that's the penis envy.
Yeah.
That, I mean, I'm not, whatever. That's how I feel. Fuck it. That's the penis envy. And at the same time, what I don't think women understand about in feminism, this whole thing is because men have womb envy. Like, the men that actually want to oppress women or try to oppress women, that's womb envy, because they know how much power and control you have just through the womb. Like, a woman can raise her child to be anything she wants it to be.
Yeah.
Your personality, your temperament, and things like that are pretty much kind of set when you're born. Like, the mother is already programming you before a father can even really get his hands on. You know what I mean? And then you're gonna nurse them, so that so then you got paid women that they don't want to breastfeed. That's separating you from your child again. So, like, everything is to separate the woman from the womb, because the womb is where the child comes from, and the child is where the real power lies, because they're the future.
Yeah. And
I mean,
Terrence Howard so eloquently put it, when you realize and open the flower of life properly,
man,
funny shit is before I even looked that up, I automatically associated the flower of life with the vagina, with the womb.
He been reading from the book of T.I. I don't know what Terrence Howard talking about.
Nah, I actually looked it up. It does make sense.
Talking about plebiscites, what he talking about, man? Come on.
Nah, it's a whole it's sacred geometry. But that's another show. I'm gonna get some educated.
I know, right?
About that shit.
Yeah.
I know, right? But yeah, it's hard for me because it all seems so simple and like so easy to like see, but like you can see the emotion and the feelings that women have experienced that they tie to men, and then they like tie it to the whole system. Like, that's because men and like violence against women, yeah, that's a problem. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying that there aren't problems to be addressed, but like violence against women from men who, I'm in martial arts now. Like I had a one-time domestic episode. Like, so like I get that part, but what's your first protection going to be? I don't know. Other men, probably. Like, so you continuing to separate yourself from men is not going to aid in your protection. So it's not even a good strategy. If that's your end game, is to like for your protection, you probably need not to be bashing the men that are supposed to be your protector. Like, that's just not smart. Like, play the game. Even if you do feel a certain way and you really don't, fuck with black men, play the game though.
Yeah. I mean, you play the game at work, you play the game with all the other people.
You play the game with everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Don't tell your bodyguard to suck your dick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Have some sort of decorum.
Basically. And I had a conversation with my martial arts instructor, actually, and he was talking about that. He was like, man, this feminism, all it's doing is disarming the black woman of her ally. So that when they're ready to really attack, it's like taking candy from a baby.
Yep.
He was like, that's it. He was like, because when they really want to do whatever it is that they're trying to do, you're going to have no protection.
Hold on, martial arts instructor. What, you about to whoop some feminist ass? What's going down?
Look, I mean, I already knew, just like off of very, very brief encounters through the phone or whatever with Ajaya, that she's definitely fought a grown man before. Like, I just knew that. You know what I'm saying? Like, like you just certain things you just know. Like, can you picture her like biting her tongue like in the midst of disrespect?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there you go. Like, there's just certain things you just know. So I get it.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
listen, I learned, but I did learn, and that's another thing. I mean, you should never be threatened physically. No woman should ever be threatened physically, if she hasn't become physical herself. And I don't think a man needs to beat a woman in order to restrain her and to keep himself safe either.
Yeah.
However, I did learn that based on where a man is mentally and emotionally, there's some shit that you can't say that he's just not going to react violently to. Like, there's some, like, my situation, I knew exactly what happened. I hit him with some truth that he didn't want to hear. And he felt disrespected, even though it was just the truth. But he felt disrespected and felt like I needed to be put in my place.
Why you
and I learned a lesson right then that, the truth, pick your battles. You know what I mean? Like, pick your battles. And I think, and the people call it victim blaming. I call it being smart. Don't put yourself in a situation to be a victim. Know who you're dealing with. If you know somebody ain't stable, or if you know what I mean? Then maybe you might want to have that conversation over the phone.
Big facts. Now, I mean, I think I'm a pretty decent reader of energy. And I can tell just off of like being in someone's presence, a woman's presence, if she can or cannot keep her hands to herself. And it just so happens that I like tall women to all the short women on my roster, I'm sorry, but I love y'all too in a different kind of way. But like I like tall women, so I already know what time it is. So like if I get that whiff of that energy, like I'm gonna distance myself because
you could just take it to a WNBA game or something. That's all.
Cross up real quick. No, I'm talking
but
like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's running rampant because, like, I've stepped back into schools sort of through, I hate schools, but I'm working with other organizations that are in school. So I'm kind of, I'm back in there. But, like, and that's another thing this feminist thing is doing is having our young ladies really think like they're on they're even with men in certain areas where you're not. So, like, y'all 13, 14 years old, and you gonna step up to him as if you on his level and want to fight, and then when he get the best of you, it's like, oh, but just a girl, and you should. Well, you stepped up like you was big and bad, because feminism taught you that you're just as good and you can do everything, and men and women are equal, and blah 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 blah. And then you got hands thrown on you like you was a man, and now you realize you not. Now you want that pity party. You want that woman. You want that special treatment for being a woman now.
Oh.
So like our young, you know what I mean? Like our young girls are getting real confused out here, and they getting real big for their britches. Because I'm like, at the end of the day, like I'm taking martial arts, but I'm still not about to go out here and start nothing with no grown ass man that I know is stronger than me. You know what I mean? That I know, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna go poke a bull. That's stupid. You know what I mean? Like, that's stupid. And like, I'm seeing that when being in the schools, being in the middle schools, elementary schools, I'm seeing that become like normal, where like girls are really like, they about to really square up on this dude. And I'm like, hey, ma, chill out.
Yeah, there's a bunch of videos with that shit. So there's also a bunch of videos with men that don't like women beating on women. There's videos of, I guess, women that used to be men or whatever you want to call it beating on women as well. And
oh man, what? So I need to know the feminist take on that.
I don't know. I think honestly,
so
the best way to defeat like feminism is with like a jar of pickles, like, because they're gonna need it for something.
It's counseling. It sounds like the best way to defeat feminism is counseling.
And a jar of pickles.
That's what it sounds like. Just talk to somebody, lay down on the couch, talk to somebody, lay down on the couch, and just get your feelings out. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a whole bunch of built up frustration. You're scared to look yourself in the mirror. You don't know who to take it out on, so you just basically anybody on site could get it. That's what it sounds like.
I remember I was called a victim blamer because I said, let's be honest, it's not right, but women are treated differently based on what they wear by most of society. Not every man or whatever, but by most of society. And I seen that firsthand when I did all the conscious circles. So when I was like Nation of the Gods and Earth, and I did the hair wrap and 3/4. So I always had on a skirt or a dress, a long skirt or a dress, kept my head covered. Completely different treatment from all men of all cultures, as opposed to when I, maybe dressed, if you want to call it more secular, like completely different treatment. And so it's like, so you have women, this is a fact. Like, it doesn't have to be right. It doesn't have to be, I'm not saying it's right, but it's a fact, is that you are treated differently based on how you dress. So that's one thing that you have to take responsibility for, because that's a fact that you know. Two, you not being an easy target. Like, stop going places with men you don't know. Like, stop going to secluded places with men that you just met on Tinder, or that you done had a couple Twitter conversations with, and now y'all in some secluded area, or now y'all are back at his place, or now y'all are wherever, and you get raped. No, you shouldn't have been raped. but take responsibilities for your bad decision making too, so that you don't become a victim again. Because if the goal is for women not to be raped, you can't wait on men to stop raping women for that to happen. Like, women have to learn to make better choices and and be responsible for their own safety first to cut down on that. Like, stop putting yourself in situations where it's easy for you to be victimized.
Big facts. 2 points. So, in regards to the rape thing, I think people really are so caught up on what should be as opposed to what it is. Like, yeah, it shouldn't happen, but I mean, rape, murder, and theft have been there before written history, and they're not going anywhere. As long as people see shit that they want that doesn't belong to them, as long as, somebody may have it, and if they're willing to put up a struggle to get it, like, all that shit's always, that's like human nature, unfortunately.
Right.
That's just that's the nature of the beast. Second
and
point.
It's opportunity.
Yep.
Stop being an op. Like, my nigga, like, I'm just saying this because and I'm not saying it as if I haven't put myself in situations. And the last one was probably like 3 years ago, and I was like, ooh, this could be rape right now.
Uh-oh.
I really don't know this man. You know what I mean? Like, 3 or 4 dates is really still not knowing somebody. You know what I mean? Like, and now I'm here, and I just said no, and he looks angry. You know what I mean? Like, he looks a little angry. All right. And, luckily for me, he was angry, but it didn't escalate into anything else. He just got shitty. He got over it, went to sleep, woke up, took my ass home. You know what I mean? Like, take the L, my nigga. Thank you. Don't pass that on to me. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So, it happens. And I understand that, you might think you know somebody, you don't know somebody, or whatever. Just, things happen. I just did this like maybe a month and a half ago. I don't even know what I was on that night. Like, stop getting pissy ass drunk by yourself, or having like friends that leave you, or at some house that you don't know. Like, don't do that. That's probably not a good idea. Like,
it's common sense.
Is the small stuff, and it's like, and that and stating that is not saying that it's your fault that you got raped. Like, people feel like because you state that you're saying it's your fault. We're like, no, we're trying to teach you how to protect yourself and keep it from happening again, because we can't rely on men to stop raping women. Like, if you're gonna rely on that, well, just walk around naked and say don't rape me and see how well that goes. Like, that's just stupid.
Shit.
Like, I don't understand.
I get you. And my second point was that no matter who you are, man or female, how you dress will dictate how you're treated. Because if I come, up to a girl dressed in like a white tee or some shit like that, a white tee and baggy jeans, like I just got out of jail, like I got locked up in fucking 2004 and just got out. You know what I'm saying? Like, as opposed
you
to
gonna get treated.
Yeah.
Like, that's your first representation. That's how you want yourself presented. And everybody has different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, somebody could see a woman with cleavage out and short shorts on and see past that and not be like, oh, see sex.
Right.
But majority are like, oh, she after something. That's just where people's head go. You know what I mean? Like, well, she out here showing it. Well, she must be trying to advertise for something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, let me push up on it in that direction. Like, what are you leading with? Yeah. Are you leading with breasts and ass?
There's like,
well, that's what they're gonna go for first. Like,
basically. And there's like a few exceptions. I think probably like maybe 2 that like they have like a strong sexual energy, but like you don't look at them as like a whore. It's weird. It's hard to explain. It's just kind of those things like when you see it, you see it.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's like a fucking unicorn.
Erykah Badu, you talking about? I guess. Right?
I was talking about my fake baby mother, but like
somebody like Erykah Badu, they don't call her a whore, but she has a good sexual energy. But I guess some people say she's a whore because she has like 3 baby daddies.
But she dresses like conservatively. But I'm talking about like she'd be like, she'd be wearing some shit. And really not wearing shit.
You talking about Erykah Badu or your
I'm talking about somebody I know in real life.
Oh, you talking about your baby?
So like you're saying that she will dress what people would call provocatively.
Yeah.
And still give off a different aura.
Yeah, it's just like it's not like
it's not. I know what you mean.
She doesn't have that hoe energy, or maybe she has that divine whore energy, whatever you want to call it. I don't know.
Right. And I know there's a woman right now. I think she's like 23, maybe 24. She paints like she paints locally. She does a lot of a lot of other stuff too. Deals with like holistic healing and womb healing and stuff like that. And I mean, she dresses really what people would consider provocatively, but you don't. Her spirit is not provocative.
What's that?
But that's another thing, though. That's another thing with women is that women who have bigger breasts and butt and thighs and all that stuff are automatically sexualized.
Big facts.
Way more than I would be. Way more than I am. You know what I mean? Like it's just I see that all the time. Like, and they could have on literally the same outfit as somebody who's slim. With a B cup and no butt, have on the same outfit. Really, the same stuff is covered. There's just more within the covered part. You know what I mean? Yeah, like there's just more breast in the shirt, and it's just like they're hypersexualized. Like that is just where it goes, and that's not women's fault. Like that, like I need feminism to have that kind of agenda. Like, tell me some stuff like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that a woman is not based on her body doesn't make her more sexual or less sexual or whatever. Like,
yeah.
Or looking at women outside of their sexuality. But then you have to look at it again. If it's our womb, then we are looked at as like for our mating quality. For our mothering capabilities also, but for our fertility. Like, so if we take it out of the sexual realm and put it more into fertility and mothering, and we stood on that, we could desexualize women ourselves.
Basically,
like,
I actually noticed this girl. I grew up with her, and a girl's butt is big when like her girlfriends say her butt is big.
Right.
My friend was trying to hook me up with her. My neighbor was trying to hook me up with her. She goes, yeah, her name is so-and-so. And like, yo, she got a big butt. I'm like, okay. I mean, shit, you got a big butt, so you must have a really big butt. You know what I'm saying? And like, not only would like her friends joke on her about it, like her family, like, all right, the person with the biggest butt sit in the middle, like, but shit like that. Like,
yeah.
And so I remember like, I met her when I was like 14. So I remember like growing up and then like reconnecting with her like as adults. And I'm like, yo. And I told her this to her face, like, yo, I know you definitely be knocking shit over when you be cooking. Like, our butt is really that fat. It's like Dexter's mom, like, on fucking Dexter's Laboratory. Like,
there's always extra fart in the butt when it's that big.
Yo, nigga, shut up.
I don't like big butts like that, because when they fart, like, you have to lift up your cheek and let the extra fart out. Like, I don't, nah. Like, nah, I'm not really with that, man.
You be getting manhandled by the butt.
Like, get your big ass out my face. Literally, get your big ass out my face.
But, I told her because, like, I could see, because she was a smart girl, and I'm just like, yo, I can tell, like, pretty much your whole life you had to deal with, people, having people look past your ass. And,
and can they?
I mean, she could kind of wear, like, just know her body, just be like, all right, I got a big butt.
There's nothing.
And she could kind of, like, wear, I guess, bigger jeans and, like, wear sweats and to avoid that type of attention. You would still see it, but
and you would still be able to
see it, but
that can hide that ass.
I know.
But you would still be able to see it, but it wouldn't be the highlight.
Yeah. She can still, like, there's ways around it. She just have to accept the fact that, okay, listen, I have a big ass. I'm different than most girls, so I got to make adjustments to it. Some people,
in order to be treated, if I don't want that to be the focus, and I that's just the facts.
Yeah.
Like that's like me being mad because people always comment on my height.
Yeah, some people don't want to. Some people don't want to accept the truth, but that's the truth. You just have to make adjustments. You're just made differently than other people. So
stop wearing heels if you don't want to be like, oh my God, you super tall. Like that's not where I stopped wearing heels. It's because they're really bad for your feet and your posture. That's another attack on women, but we're not even gonna go there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so allegedly, heels were made for niggas initially, but you know. That was never my thing. The closest I get to heels wearing Timbs, but
man.
But yeah,
I do get like a couple of inches wearing Timbs. That is true. Yeah,
I'm a good fucking. Yeah, I'm like a good 6'3" with Timbs on. Like,
yeah, that is true. Might buy me some Timbs this fall then.
I appeal to a whole different.
Y'all out here trying to fool the women.
Yeah.
Y'all out here trying to
update my profile line. Height 6'1".
Listen, I went out on a date with a guy that was like 5. I'm gonna give him 5'6". Because he's friend. Because we're friends.
That nigga really 5'3". That's fucked up.
What you about? No. What you about? You about 6 feet?
She's 6'1".
I'm 6'1".
And he 5. Oh.
And he was a little guy too. Like he was like small stature. Like you know what I mean? Like he was not.
Like you was burping that nigga like over your shoulder.
Like, you could square up with him. You could probably whoop his ass then. Yeah, you could probably take him. Yeah.
And like it was weird because he was like oddly comfortable with the situation. Like completely secure with the situation, and like I felt like mannish because like it just naturally because of the height difference. Anytime there was anything like we were doing, and like I would always just stand behind him because I can see literally over the top of your head, like. But then I would rub his shoulders, you know what I mean, like rub his back and like talking to him or whatever. And like, and I can like, it was so weird. And like people commented, like we were walking around like kind of a high crowd area or whatever. So we were just walking. And people like were literally commenting like, wow, you're really short. Like,
right.
And he was just like, yeah, but I'm feeling great about my situation right now. You know what I mean? Like he was, you know what I mean? He was kind of like, I'm good. Like I feel like I'm winning right now. So yeah, I'm short. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that just goes back to just like the gender masculine, what's feminine, what's manly, what, you know what I mean? Like, and just like all of that is all mixed into some of the issues that feminists might see in the world. Like all of that, like a man can't date someone taller than them. And that automatically has to make them like less masculine.
Yeah, because
you know what I mean, or like
a protector or whatever.
Yeah, like I actually went on another date with a guy. He was barely 5'5", but he was like a 4th degree black belt.
Because he has to
back
be.
in Dallas. like that was when I was in Dallas, and like he was little, but that's probably the safest I ever felt just walking in downtown Dallas, because downtown Dallas is like deserted. Well, it was back then. Like I don't know if they're trying to rebuild it now, but like nothing really happens in downtown Dallas. Like so we were just walking like in downtown. I was like, man, this is the safest I've ever felt, because like this little nigga will kick your ass, like hands down, no problem. Like no matter how big you are, you know what I mean? Like so, right. Just. And that speaks to the protection again. Like that speaks to the protection that the man offers the woman, you know? And right. Again, if you keep pushing them away, you're not going to have any protection. Like it's going to be open season. And you're going to have all other types of racists feeling like they can come into whatever black area, because there is no black community, but into black areas and have their way with the women, or be able to exploit the women because they don't have a man coming in there to help support or help take care of or anything. Like it's gonna get real.
Big facts. I have to ask this question, and then we can definitely get back on topic. But I know you had at least one of these 5-foot niggas like on your shoulders at a concert before. I know that for a fact.
I told him to I told him to get up there and catch one of the t-shirts they was throwing. Nah, I'm just.
Oh shit! But I mean, I do see that, and I've never known, because I'm taller than most of my friends except like some of the niggas from the basketball team from high school and shit. But you know, I've never met like a short nigga with like a small personality. Like they're always, it's just innate in them to like, you know, overcompensate and just be extra. You know?
Yeah. I will say that for most of short men that I've dated, because I don't discriminate, except for the last one, the one I said we were walking around, people were commenting. He did not have a very big personality at all. As far as outwardly, you know what I mean? Like as far as, but once you get to talk to him, he had a lot of depth and a lot of, you know what I mean? Like stuff to say. I actually met him the night that I got blackout drunk for some reason. And I was like, I don't even drink. And I went out that night and I was trying to figure out, I was like, did somebody slip me something? I don't remember drinking that many drinks or anything, but I met him that night. And just the way that like he dealt with the situation, because I mean, like I didn't remember most of our interactions at all. And like, as far as like trying to help me like be safe, you know what I mean? Like could have completely took advantage of the situation, because like I said, I literally didn't remember anything, you know what I mean? Like, so I think that kind of went a long way with me too.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. No, that was probably the only one that didn't seem to kind of overcompensate for small stature.
And that's a stand-up situation, because he definitely could have got a step stool and went to work. So with, you know, this whole war on women.
Yes.
What do you think women can do to fight back? And what do you think the men can do? Like, what do women need the men to do in this kind of situation?
Okay, well, I feel like for women, I think they need to understand that their oppression is actually due to the fact that they have a womb, and step into that power. So like, anytime there's an oppressed people, it's because they have power. If you don't have power, nobody wants to oppress you. Mm-hmm. So if you consider yourself oppressed, or, you know, a part of a group that's trying to be oppressed, figure out what power you have that the group trying to oppress you doesn't, and step into that power. So if you're a woman and you feel like men are trying to oppress women, what do you have that a man doesn't have? A womb. So that is where your power is when dealing with the man. Your power over him is the womb. That's your equalizer. I won't say power over, but that's your equalizer, because that's what you have that they don't have. That's what they need you for. And as far as what can men do, I think, I don't know. I don't be thinking about y'all like that.
And that's why y'all fucked up now.
Like I'm just saying, like, when I'm thinking about what women can do to help themselves, I don't think about what men can do, because that's like me saying, what can black people do to help themselves? Well, what can white people do? Right. I don't really give a fuck what they do. You know what I mean? Like, but for if y'all want to be allies, I hate that term now. I hate that term so much. No, but like, I think men themselves have to start to desexualize women in their brain. Like, a woman is more than sex. You know what I mean? And I understand, you know, men being more physical and men, but I don't limit y'all to that. I think that's a cop-out, that y'all are just these like physical beings that can't control your urges, or you can't see past, you know, a fat ass. Like, I don't And that doesn't mean you can't admire it. That doesn't mean, you know what I mean? You can't look at it, but to actually see a woman as a complete being outside of her sexuality, I think that is something that men need to be more intentional about.
Right.
Is that, just that part of it. Because, I mean, I like to look at women also. You know what I mean? Like, women are the most beautiful creatures on the planet. Like,
no debating that.
Period. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so why can't women, or why aren't women and their bodies admired like art? You know what I mean? Instead of it being lewd. Like, why can't it be like you're looking at a painting? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
it not automatically go into the sexual part of penetration, or how can she be used to please me? You know
right.
what I mean? Like, I think that deprogramming needs to happen more intentionally with men in order for them to be able to build that bond and that trust and stuff that has been broken, because that's why so many Black women are running to feminism, because that trust and bond has been broken, whether it be by a father, a boyfriend, an uncle, a brother, a random nigga on the street. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
that bond and that trust and that comfort is not there for whatever reason. And I think the only way to kind of repair that is for, on the male part and on the men's part, is to start to desexualize women and actually see them as a whole being, not just, sexually, how can she be used to please me?
Right. Yeah, I'm always a big proponent for dick discipline. And yeah, I think there's even some men that actually are in denial that they view women like that. Like, it's like, nah,
definitely.
I'm just chilling with so and so, like whatever. But like, at the end of the day, they know they just want to be with them for, like, fucking purposes,
for their own pleasure. Yeah, like, and then I think it goes to tell a lot when you hear, like, a lot of men saying, like, men and women can't be friends. So that means that you can't separate, or you can't look past the sexual aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because you're saying that if you can't be sexual with her, then she has no value to your life.
Yeah, and that's really like
what?
and if you can't find the value but beyond, the womb, then, like, that's your problem. I remember can we even say his name now? Because the person that used to be three of us, and I guess he got, like, a government job, whatever the fuck he trying to do. So we can't really mention his name like that. But his wife, she does my hair, whatever. Like, she redoes my locks and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one time I was just picking him up from the train station because he was, running about. He had to do some other shit, and his boy was like, "Yo, you gonna trust him to pick up your girl like that?" He was like, "Why wouldn't I? Like, what the fuck? Like, is this, you know what I'm saying?" But there's really, like, niggas like that. That's how they operate.
Yeah.
But me, I don't know. I'm not going to say I've never, looked at a woman for just ass. Shit, I just sent a DM this morning. But the point is, like, it's a case-by-case scenario with me. Like, it's just off the energy that you give off. I was at a fucking topless beach 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Actually, the beach that we went to before for that vegan barbecue thing, that's actually a topless beach. So I went back there again.
Negative.
And yeah, there was, them things was out, but it wasn't like, yo, like, I'm about to whip my meat out. Like, it was nothing like that.
I was thinking, so can I? Nah, go ahead.
It's a topless beach, not a nude beach, but allegedly. But the point is, like, I didn't feel like aroused. It was just like, oh, nice titties.
Yeah.
I've even had women that I was fucking with, like, the morning after, whatever, like, she's walking around naked and the sun just hits her in the right, and in the right way, and it's like, oh, this is art.
Oh, so that's the topless beach, huh? That's the topless beach.
Yes.
All right, so I know where I'm going then. All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you live right over there.
Yeah, I live right.
And that's what I said. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Hell, we know a lot of indigenous cultures ran around mostly naked. You know what I mean? Like. Yeah. And women is, for one, like, women's breast is mostly for nursing. Like, naturally, that's what they're supposed that's what their main function is. You know what I mean? Like, so this, you know, just things like that. But really just the whole not even the sexualization, but like the sexualization of how can she be used to please me specifically? Because of course, I mean, it's sexual. It's a butt. It's a vagina. It's breasts. Like that, they're sexual organs. But they don't mean that they got to be used for you.
Yeah. And I think, like, I mean, we've been, I think society's been groomed with this whole sexualizing thing. And you've seen it, like, just kind of like, if you look back at certain stuff, like, I just saw this thing on fucking, I guess it was like Jimmy Kimmel. He did something called Tindergarten, which is like Tinder for kids. And I'm sitting there like, I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's like, how old are you?
It's so twisted.
It's like, I'm 5, and the dude and the boy was like 4.5. And it was like swipe left, swipe right. Do you like this person? You like this person? The kid doesn't even know the left from the right. But they're fucking, you know what I'm saying?
That's sad.
Yeah. That is so sick. That, like, people don't even understand the subtle psychic attacks.
Yeah.
Like, for sexualizing children.
Yeah, and that's why, like, we need, like, as we're, you know, going at each other's throats and shit like that, like, they're just coming in and just, like, scooping up the kids and, like, you know,
that's the whole point. That is the whole point. Is this whole attack on the woman, this war on the woman is about the child.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the whole thing. Like, and while they got you fighting the man, they just are just taking the kids. Like, well, why y'all fight? We're going to take the kids over here and educate them and give them this culture and confuse them gender-wise. So they're not even going to know whether they're male or female growing up, hell, anyway. You know what I mean? Like, just, like, and that's the whole game. Like, that's the whole game. It's about the womb. It's about the child. Period.
Yep.
But women don't see that as power. Like, women don't see especially feminists do not see motherhood as power. They see it as a limitation.
To be like a man.
Wow.
It's basically just women that don't like themselves.
Yeah, there's a lot of pseudo confidence and shit, you know.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
It's that's how I see feminists as. Just they just don't like themselves. They scared to look themselves in the mirror and address their own personal issues, and just basically anybody can get it. Yeah. Once you find like-minded people, they form a little group, and then all of a sudden, feminist group.
Yeah, like they was running around.
I blame Beyonce.
Yeah, they was running around New York City, like yelling with their titties out.
Yes, yeah.
And just a bunch of weird shit, you know, the whole like not shaving their armpits, not shaving their top lip, fucking walking around like Sue Wooing and shit, like.
And that's all fine and dandy. Like, that's all fine. I don't really shave, okay? But that is not something that I'm oppressed for. Like, oppression is not having to feel like you have to shave your armpits. That is not oppression. I'm sorry. That is you falling victim to peer pressure. That is not oppression.
Yeah.
I would love to talk to a feminist, like inside the mind of a feminist. You really got to try to reach out, and I would love.
You can't talk to them. You gotta extract it. Like, you gotta like hypnotize them and just get them to talk.
I just want
truthfully.
I just want to have a conversation, just to sit down, just to see exactly where the mindset, where you're coming from. I would love it. Oh.
And then there's also like, I be needing like to see like feminists in like real life. Like, I don't like these internet feminists are the same people out here like pleading for men's attention in real life.
Yeah, I actually know a feminist is actually a good friend of mine, and we get along swimmingly until it comes time to talk about ideologies.
Bring her on the show, please.
We won't be friends again.
Just put it on me. Just be like, I have a co-host
it's not.
who wants to know.
He don't want to risk his friendship.
Just put it on. I'll do most of the talking. Just put it on me.
Look,
I would love to have a conversation with a feminist.
And you know who she is too. Like, she's getting maybe after the wedding. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm supposed to be at the wedding. Like, I'm not. Yes.
Married.
Yes.
You talking about?
Yeah, shut up. That's what I'm saying. Like, no,
Well,
I'm not.
yeah.
No, she's not. She can't be a feminist. No.
She wears all them
No.
feminist, them liberal shirts. You know, why be transphobic, homophobic, whatever. You can just be quiet. All that shit.
Nah, maybe.
Did she ever talk about what the goal, like?
I'm probably thinking about somebody else. It can't be
Yeah,
her.
and then like I'm like, I even asked her, like, what is the goal? And they're like, well, how do you expect that to happen? And she was like, basically like men relinquishing their power. I'm like, that's not happening. Like over our dead bodies,
man.
Like,
put it on me. Tell
Like,
her.
You give it all to the women? Like what? Okay.
Put it
And
on
then
me.
what?
Put it on me.
but then at the same time, it's like it'll be a situation where it's just like, damn, I'm not gonna be able to release this shit. Anyway,
I just need to
look,
know
the
what's
point
the
is-
mindset.
the point is like I think it's really like just women want to have their cake and eat it too, and not being accountable for their actions. They want to quote unquote do the shit that they see men do that they think that we enjoy, you know, like being hoarded, shit like that. I'll tell you right now, a lot of these niggas out here that's like they got body counts in the thousands is dead inside. They won't tell you
Man,
that. But
can't help it.
Look,
Body count. You talking about sex? 1,000
yes,
women?
yes,
You mean dead inside, like not happy?
yes.
Oh yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, we make it look cool, like yo. I mean, if you really think about it, it's like
Yeah, they searching for something.
it's like you lost a fight, but like you can't prove that you lost a fight because nobody saw it. So you just act like you whooped their ass. So you just
Basically.
go around like, you know what I'm saying? And
Well,
literally,
you know how like empty it becomes? Like any action that you do over and over and over and over again, like it's gonna eventually become empty. You know, it grows to becoming empty and less meaningful.
yep.
Not to mention how bad it is to really release that much semen. But
Ugh.
we kind of talked about that in the sex magic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In fact, actually, like I just finished the book The Way to Superior Man, and not that long ago I shot up a club, and it definitely I definitely felt drained. I will say that.
Ugh.
Yep.
Did your knees hurt afterwards? No.
Nah.
Oh, the left kneecap, the back of it.
I got strong ass knees, bro.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, the left
They
of-
also say, I've heard people say that when men, because y'all get that drained feeling, and that's kind of a negative feeling after,
your right elbow, it doesn't.
A negative feeling.
that leads, like that drained feeling after you actually release semen, like that drained feeling that you feel after, like that's not a great feeling for y'all. Like the orgasm and ejaculation felt great, but then that period after, that they say that men actually become to kind of resent women
Yeah, right.
for that.
It depends on how we got to this destination and who this person is with.
You're
Well,
right.
yeah. But I
right.
mean, you're saying like she becomes linked with that other feeling too. Like, yeah, she comes linked with the orgasm and all that stuff, but then she also is linked with that drained feeling and tired feeling,
Yeah.
where you're, you know what I mean? Like, so there's
Yeah.
there's something to that part too about how the power that men might feel women have over them because of that drained feeling, where once a woman taps into her sexuality, she can go forever,
Maybe
literally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
like
take a piece of my soul. Then maybe
That's high key how I felt. And the thing is, like, I mean,
maybe she.
I've
had
shot a
AIDS.
club up, a couple times,
Oh no.
more than a few.
That's
However,
it's not good.
look, it is what it is. But this one in particular was just like, I don't know. I felt drained, and it's not like, it's just some random or whatever. But it's just like, I guess since I knew different, and then also apparently in the book they were talking about how even if your girl says like, yeah, nutting me or whatever,
What?
like the fact that like you do it and you succumb to them is just like in the back of their mind is just like weak. Apparently,
Yeah, I
it is a power. It's like a power. That is your power. Like,
Yeah.
and you just gave it to her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and
if you
it,
think about
it does
yeah.
have a
She told
it
you what
does
to
have
do,
a
you did
sense
it.
of like it does have a sense of like I got you.
I never do it when they say that. No. Oh, I never do that when they say that to me. I'd be like, nah, I ain't doing that.
Money shot.
I stopped in mid-stroke. I was like, so you just don't care about kids or anything like that? You just want me to?
Man,
Nah, no.
No, see, and then if you get with the right I won't say the right. If you get with a different woman, it's like, I'll just speak from my personal experience. So it's like having sex, and it's just like, okay, I'm about to, whatever. And I'm like, we good. I don't ovulate until, and I'm giving you an exact date, like da 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 da, like da 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 da, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not worried about, you know what I mean? Like, and I know I do not want to get pregnant or have any children right now. So like, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm not saying shoot the club up, but I'm saying like
shoot the club up. Now look, but on that note, like tying back to the war on women, there's a lot of women that don't know what the fuck is going on with their body. Like,
they don't know anything about their body.
Like, I had I got into an argument with that same feminist. On not argument, we just kind of went back and forth because there was an article about how male birth control is considered safe. I'm just like, as safe as women birth control, because that's an entire dub.
And have her on the show.
No, women's birth control is not even safe. That's the thing about it.
Yeah,
like
just tell her.
Give it to the men too.
Just tell her you have a co-host that wants to know more about the feminist movement.
Yo, you can do that on your own time, bro.
Oh man, I would do most of the talking.
Well, you need to do a special edition, and you can't be on the show.
I just want to talk. I just want to get in the
on the show.
I just want to get in the mindset of I just want to know.
You could look this up on YouTube.
No, I need to talk and have a conversation. I need to actually talk and have a conversation. Hear the words come out their mouth and be like, okay,
It's. I don't listen. I don't know.
And she has a man and she's getting married and her man supports this.
So it's not a lesbian male hater thing. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, it's not I'm just looking to interracially date without, being judged or feeling a certain way. It's not any of that. Like, that's a good person to have a conversation with. Like,
I'm bringing her on the show, man. This would be a good.
I told you got to do a special one, and you just can't be on it.
A good 2 hours.
Because she be flying off the fucking handle about like the littlest shit.
A good 2 hour episode. That's what you need to bring her on, man. You can just put it on me. I can be the bad guy. Just be like, listen.
Oh my God.
He doesn't know anything. He's trying to open up his mind. He would like to talk to a hardcore feminist.
I've argued with her more than I argue with women I'm actually fucking.
It won't be an argument. She'll just tell me, and I just give her my feedback. My feedback probably won't be what she wants to hear.
So shut up, man. Shut up, you penis holder.
Oh, is that where we're going? Is that where the conversation will go?
Nah, I don't know about all that.
I mean, I could be on my Malik Yoga and just, fighting for my life.
Yeah. Man,
I don't like. I know. I've said that like so many times. Like I was like, I just really need to know what. I just need a feminist to hop in my mentions and tell me like, what are y'all trying to do? Like, what are y'all really? What are the goals? What are the?
I'm gonna make a video.
And I've had people, and I have to take my, being a tomboy and everything, and not really wanting to be a girl until I started my cycle and was like, well, shit, I am. It's real. So I do tend to empathize with men more than the average woman. I will admit to that. Like, because I thought I wanted to be out until I was 12. So, some of my views may be a little skewed to the male perspective. But I think that's a strength of mine.
Yeah.
As a woman now.
Yeah.
But, so, I got a little toxic masculinity myself.
Where did that term come from? Toxic masculinity?
Two gay men.
That was in the 90s. I mean, I never heard that growing up.
I don't even.
Where did that term
now,
come
somebody
from?
made a good. Did y'all see? It was a video. It was that mother. It was in a different country, but it was like a family of 4 walking down the street, and the lady like ran up and stabbed the little kid.
Yeah,
I saw that too.
And like the father like couldn't do like shit to protect his family.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, if you ask me, that's toxic masculinity. I was like, ooh.
Oh, I said that.
Was that you?
Yeah,
I was like, ooh, that's good. That's definitely like that shit is toxic as fuck.
Yeah,
Didn't I have like an ignorant?
She getting niggas mixed up. Just yo.
I didn't get anybody mixed up. That's why I said somebody.
Didn't I have like an ignorant response, like "fuck that little kid" or something like that?
Nah, look, I would have fucking closed on that bitch. I don't give a fuck. Like,
it was a little white boy, right?
Because the thing is, like, I've never laid hands on a woman before. And again, because like I could see from a mile away.
You haven't?
No, I haven't.
Oh, my boy.
I guess you're surprised.
No.
I mean, mind you, like I be saying like a whole bunch of shit that makes women want to punch me, but that's not the point.
I mean, when people say have ever hit women, I'd be like, does fighting your sisters count?
I mean, that's whatever.
Like,
I mean, and at that point, there was girls. You was fighting them when you was grown.
You was fighting them as a grown man.
No.
So that's what I'm saying.
No.
So yeah, you good, but like with if a situation that, like, if my girl was getting jumped or somebody laid hands on my kids or whatever, that I do not have.
But you never know. Shooting people clubs up and stuff.
Yo, relax, B.
Shoot. That's just reckless. We gonna have to talk off the show about that.
God got me, all right?
Out of here. They got some ultra thin Trojans you could put on, you know? I'm just saying. I mean, go ahead.
Ajay, you want to break down condoms real quick?
Continue. No.
You talking about them being toxic?
Yeah.
So you got some ultra thin Trojans out there. I'm just saying.
Listen, studies have shown that a lot of these so-called sexually transmitted diseases are, in fact, reactions to condoms. I
can't do bareback. I can't just go.
I don't understand. That's why I don't have sex with a lot of people, because I'm not wearing a condom.
Yeah, you can't.
I'm not.
You can't be around like untrustworthy vagina. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Like,
it is what it is.
Shout out to Instagram.
Yeah, like if I can't trust your pussy, then we can't. We can't do this.
Yeah, and it limits a lot of situations. You know what I mean? Like,
plus it should be smell like a doctor's office. I don't got time for that.
I can't go in war. Nobody. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Well, the thing is, like, once you do that, it's kind of hard to go back. Because I remember.
No, you can go back. It's something that starts with an S. You can go back. Yeah. That three-letter word. That three letters. That starts with an S. It ends with a D.
But I mean, I don't think a man should be having sex with a woman if he don't know her cycle.
Big
like,
facts.
If you don't got no idea what is going on, then you probably shouldn't really be, take some responsibility for where you put your penis.
Yeah. And then, if you...
So that means you got to at least know her a month.
Yeah.
Niggas ain't waiting that long.
Sure ain't.
Like...
And then, you could try to... I actually tweeted that. I was like, ejaculation might be the best birth control for real. But
I done try to put so many men on, and nobody wants to do the work.
Ejaculation?
Yeah.
Oh, that's when you hold, and you burp it out. So.
Yo, this nigga's retarded.
Did he say when you burp? Wait.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you? Nah, it's like you just channel it throughout your body. Like, instead of it going out, it goes up and throughout your body. It's like a full body nut.
And you learn how to control. I forget the name of that muscle.
Or some
that actually controls the. Yes.
Yeah, it goes.
It does go into that realm, but you learn how to control that muscle. I think the one exercise muscle. The one exercise I know you can do is like when you pee, you just stop your pee.
Oh yeah,
and hold it.
Yeah, I do that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that's one of the first exercises to learn how to control that muscle before you can learn how to ejaculate, if you will.
Yeah.
Or orgasm without semen release.
Yeah.
If people don't like the term, some people are weird about terms like ejaculation. It's just like you learn how to orgasm without actually spilling semen.
Yeah, it's just it's no cleanup. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
that would creep.
I'm still trying to. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm gonna reconfigure getting head and shit, but. At least
listen, I'm gonna do some personal sharing. I dated a guy Like, this is the same. This is actually the guy who was like, it ended in a little domestic altercation. He knew how, but he never told me that he knew how to do this. And you were talking about head, and I like, once we get around like an hour, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And he has like this smile on his face, like this devious ass smile, and I'm like, and then we had that conversation later. I was like, you mother.
See,
so this whole time.
That happened to me, minus, me knowing that. I should actually, it's probably in my best interest to like really get into that, because
it's in every man's best interest, because then we can stop hearing about all these child support stories on social media and all this crying about how you getting done wrong by this chick that you never cared about in the first place, because all you was looking at was her ass anyway.
Hold your nuts, you bitch ass nigga.
Yeah, so that means y'all could be having a Netflix and chill and just break out the ejaculation right there then, right?
Right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Start looking at somebody. Yo, what the fuck? Yo. She's like, what's your problem? Like, that's that ejaculation. You don't know nothing about that. I don't need you for tonight. We good.
Nah, I'm not talking about like fucking.
We're not talking.
I know. I'm just playing. I know. I'm just joking. I know. I'm just playing. I know.
Man he just mentally stimulated himself. That's the story. He just.
Your ancestors gave me a hand job. Like, the fuck?
We're like, yeah, we good.
It's that new age spirituality.
Like, now we can actually finish this Netflix movie. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh man, but yeah, I had looked it up. Somebody had said something along the lines of it may cause infertility. I'm like, nigga, I'll take my chances.
Hey man.
It's herbs, it's whatever.
I think there's a couple. They have a book called Cosmic Sexuality. I think that book has its own Instagram page, but they talk about it, and I think he's I watched one of his videos, and he talks about he will actually like release semen. It used to be like once a month he needed to do it to feel, right in his body. He was like, but he had since been up to like 2 months he would go without actually releasing. But he was like, I mean, I do, it's not like I don't ever, you know what I mean? Like never again. But he was like, I definitely feel better, and we're able to have better sex since I don't have to ejaculate to have a sexual experience. But he did say, you do still need to release,
Yeah.
And he's like, and you'll get better at it, and you'll feel when you need to. You know what I mean? Like, that's another thing. Like, we're so out of touch with our bodies that we don't believe, like, well, when you'll know when it don't feel right. You know what I mean? Like, or when you like, yeah, I'm gonna need to, and that's not every day. Like, I know a man that swears that he needs to go every day.
Nah.
And he's like, if my wife don't, then I'm like, dude, you gonna kill yourself.
Yeah, I be having shit to do. Matter of fact, I saw something. My boy from college sent me this in a very odd hour in the morning. But he was like, this dude basically he died after like fucking nutting like 56 times. Or some shit
saw
like
that.
Yeah,
I saw that. All right, was that real?
Yeah.
Was that real?
I didn't click the link because I
didn't want to read about it either, but I saw that. It looked like a young little black guy too.
I mean, you should die after that. You should. Like,
clearly, that's what you were trying to do.
Exactly.
If you really just
you're shooting blanks after like the third one.
Yeah, you should die after that. After 50-some times, you should.
Probably the second one if you dehydrated, and he probably was.
Yeah, he was not properly. He's probably drinking Gatorade or some shit.
Because around the third or fourth time, nothing's coming out.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
just for decoration. It's just like, ugh.
It's like
when you E40 sound and shit.
Yeah.
When you're a little kid and you masturbate me.
And by the end, all you're giving out is life force. Like ain't nothing coming out but pure energy.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. Like, I be thinking about like looking back, in history, if the world goes on or whatever, when they look back at this time, they're gonna be like, these people were fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Like, look at reading stories like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, then you got like feminists and transgender and like just all this. Just people were fucking idiots. Like, they had the technology to do every and anything, and this is what the fuck these niggas did for 300 years.
I think what it really is like life is too good, so we have to find shit to fuck it up.
Yeah.
But it's not even that great. We're not even making the great shit great yet. Like,
I know. I said like that's what I said. I didn't say it was great. I'm just saying like we're afforded all of these luxuries that it's just like we're just looking for shit wrong. Like if shit was real and niggas had to like fight and eat what they kill and all this other stuff and like really like not have all these distractions and shit, like we wouldn't have time to worry about this bullshit.
Man, I still feel like we don't got time to worry about this bullshit. Like, I feel like every time I talk shit about something, I always end it with like, what are we building? Like, I'm just, somebody tell me, like, what are we doing here? I'm a little confused on what's going on, but hey, this is what y'all want to talk about. I'm trying to sell some books.
Yeah, because whenever I'm in I actually got in a feminist lion's den in that comment section over the fucking Plan B shit, and they just saying all this other stuff. I'm just like, all right, so what are we gonna do about this? Like, are we just shooting shit here? Like, what's, you know what I'm saying? Cause my whole thing is just like, y'all can do what y'all want to do. I don't give a fuck. I'm not the dick police. I don't care.
Right.
But me and my penis, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing all that. And I even said like, I think all birth control was wrong, because like I'm not gonna have somebody I care about, you know what I'm saying, on that shit. Because then
at all.
Despite, your health and all that other stuff, I gotta deal with your crazy ass on the fucking Home Depot shot and shit. I'm not,
man.
And probably have side effects too and all that also.
Definitely
crazy side effects.
Yeah.
And here's the other crazy thing is you have a lot of mothers, especially black mothers, putting their daughters on it as young as 10. Like, hey, put her on depot, because we not doing no babies.
Birth control at 10 years old?
Yeah, actually, I used to work at a hospital, and like, I remember one time.
What age do you usually get your period? Like,
hell, these days, 8.
Yeah, the way these hormones are set up in these foods and shit. But like, I was working at a hospital, and this woman called for an appointment. She goes, "Yeah, so I just found out my daughter's having sex, So I gotta take her skank ass to the OBGYN. She just sounded mad disappointed. I'm just sitting there like, and I guess she was like 10. He goes, yeah, I gotta get some birth control. I'm just like, so we just not even gonna like have the talk about rubbers and nothing like that? Like,
nope. We're going straight to the birth control. Not even knowing not even caring about the research that says how it fucking is gonna cause you I think they say 10 plus years, like the likelihood of you developing cancer is like, if you're on the birth control for like 10 years, like.
Yeah. Matter of fact, a good friend of mine actually just was like, yo, I'm off of that shit. I'm never doing that shit again. I guess she almost died apparently.
You gain weight from that too, right? I think.
Yeah. You get all kinds of shit.
Most people gain weight on the depot. Not everyone gains weight on birth control. I know my skinny ass ain't gained no weight.
No.
I got put on birth control. And exactly, we're talking about the war on women. This is the war on women. And we got feminists fighting for birth control when it's literally destroying your womb and your health.
Yep.
But I got put on birth control at like 13 because of diet. I had cysts on my ovaries, and the birth control did shrink them. And I just stayed on it forever because whenever I came off, they came back.
So you were cisgender?
I was cis before they even invented the term, baby.
Yeah.
According to them, we're cisgendered, right? According to them, right? We're cisgendered, something like that.
Yeah, I hate that fucking shit.
I'd rather be a nigga.
Like, what is cis? And they're like, cis women are. I'm like, I had to go Google that when somebody first called me that. So I was like, cis, short for cis shit. I was like, why do y'all keep making this shit up?
Yeah,
and I was like, that's not me. I was like, that's your language. and how y'all speak in your culture, I don't accept that label.
Yeah,
like that don't make it real. Like, okay, that's what you want to call me when you're talking to all the rest of your transgender and allied friends. Cool. But I'm not gonna refer to myself as a cisgender, like, or whatever, cis woman. Like, I don't don't play these games with me.
Now, if we call you, you know, the abbreviation for, you know, a transmission, then it's a fucking problem. You can call us what you want to call us, but we can't.
Exactly. But we can't, like, man, as I said, the trans community has a lot in common. Their culture has a lot in common with white patriarchy.
Oh, just got it.
Like
abbreviation for transmission, tranny. Oh.
Nah, but to your point though, I'm just gonna ignore that. To your point though,
but
apparently
the entitlement. Like, but because they're men, because it was white men. Like, that's why it has all this entitlement. You can do this and you can do that. And there was an article that said that trans women have the right to uterus transplants. Like, so they're probably trying to get, I don't know, insurance to pay for it or some shit like that. But like, how do you have a right to some shit that's not yours?
Yeah.
How the hell does that even work?
And apparently, I mean, even though like they're making like, you know, niggas the face of the whole thing, like most of them are white men.
Yeah.
And
most of them are white men.
And apparently there was some situation where I think Taylor Swift was trying to get I forgot what amendment it was. They were trying to get amended to include them because then they would be considered a protected class. That's
what I heard. It was all about. It's about white men being able to be a protected class, so they can get those same rights and privileges as the other protected classes. And I was like, sounds like a move white men would pull, like, because they're the best at this shit. Like, whatever this shit is, they're great at it. I don't even know what it is, but they're fucking great at it. And I'm not gonna be a hater. Like, man, y'all got the game sold up. Like, y'all got black women being feminist against the black man. Y'all got, like, who y'all absolutely despise and hate. Like, y'all, like, I thought the enemy of my enemy was my ally, baby. No, like, I don't know. But yeah. I can't get with the trans stuff. And I'm not transphobic. Like, I don't even like any labels. That's the thing about it. I say just do away with all labels. Hell. Do you make sperm or egg? That's really all. At the end of the day, that's really what it comes down. I don't care if you want to put on a dress. I don't care if you know what I mean? Like, if you want to change your name and call your name Sally, call yourself Sally. I don't care. It's, do you create sperm or... What'd you say?
Ain't no bad bitches named Sally.
That's why the man is changing his name to Sally, because he will never.
He ain't got that bad bitch energy. I feel you. I mean, I don't. The thing is, like, I don't care, but it's just like they're trying to make you care, and they just make people resent you.
Like, hey man, I might be toxic as hell, but that Dave Chappelle was funny as shit. I don't care. That shit was funny. Like,
he did his thing.
Yeah, I haven't laughed that hard in a minute.
Like, man, and it's because it was true. You know what I mean? There was truth to it, and he was just making fun of it. It's what comedy is about. Yeah. Like, but it's true. Like, it's just like you can't force your culture on somebody else. Ain't that the same thing they was telling black people doing sit-ins? Wasn't that what white people was telling them? Like, y'all can't force your culture on us. Can't make us now y'all want to force this culture on. Speaking of forcing cultures, hell, that's all they ever did. Anyway, hold on, I got sidetracked. But like, it's just okay. You can do that, but it doesn't come with acceptance. Mm-hmm. It comes with the freedom to do. You have the freedom to do whatever you want to do. It doesn't come with people accepting and supporting whatever it is you choose to do. It comes from them not persecuting and killing you and trying to keep you from doing it. That's it. It doesn't come with, oh, we can't say anything negative about it, or, oh, we can't point out that you're born a man, or like any of that. That doesn't come with the freedom to do it.
Yeah. And
Like, I don't.
I'm really just thinking about it, actually, because I mean, I kept hearing this, this imaginary statistic that most of those kind of people are prostitutes, and that's kind of why they end up getting murdered, because I mean, prostitutes in general would just get murdered. I mean, it's just kind of like if you're in the drug game, you get murdered. It's just what it is.
It's a part of it's a risk. That's a what is it called a career.
It's par for the course. So I'm really thinking like, so when you decide that you want to live your life, and I'm not even sure why I'm asking you, but maybe you might have some insight somehow. But like, are you making this your purpose? Like, why? What can't you accomplish as a man, or you're naturally assigned whatever that you wouldn't be able to that you would be able to accomplish in another gender? Like, are you making that your sole purpose? Like, there's
nothing that you can accomplish. You just want whatever it is that you feel is associated with being a woman.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out what's the end goal. Like, are niggas?
Well, see, I think okay. If we're going to talk about like people who are truly in that category, I blame gender roles, because people feel men who don't have the typical male expression are teased for being not manly or seen as not manly, treated a certain way, not respected, blah, blah, blah. So they feel like they can get that respect if they were a woman, because then they fit the role. You know what I mean? They fit the norm.
It's like a cop
and that's
out.
Just in the genuine. That's in the you know what I mean? That's in the genuine way. Like, I never fit the stereotype of a man. I more fit the stereotype of a woman. So I'm going to go and try to be a woman. And then maybe people will accept me as I am. I say, you just got to be you and fuck the haters. Like, that's at the end of the day, like.
Now, I'm a little bit more militant and not as easy on my male counterparts, because I mean, I'm like, in nature, the weaker ones get killed off.
And they don't reproduce either.
Yeah. So, you're a bad batch. Now, luckily, we're in this era where you could work out, you could take a bath, you could get a haircut. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can fix yourself up.
And there's other strengths now that you can have in this society that can outdo your typical man, protector, hunter, whatever, that, Bill Gates wouldn't have survived, he would have been
Bill Gates
nothing.
He wouldn't be getting no bitches. Can you imagine Bill Gates trying to get some hoes in the club?
No, he'd be going after them.
He just in the dirt drawing computer screens.
Nah,
what are we gonna do?
He be on some child molestation stuff though. That's what he'll be doing.
Yeah, I could actually see that pretty
exactly. And that's another thing, is that that's where when certain men can't get women, that's when you get rape, that's when you get child molestation, that's when you get these things.
Yeah.
The homosexuality.
Either that or.
Ooh, did I say that? I said that, didn't I?
Yeah,
well,
I guess you did.
I did. I said it. It's too late. I said it. That's where these things can kind of come from, or, is they're not desired in that manner by the woman.
Yeah.
So we have to, exactly, because the women in every other species, pretty much, the woman has the power. The men do all the shit to get fucking mated with. Like, the men has the man peacock has all the feathers and trying to show out and strut. You know what I mean? Like, the men are over here fighting. Like, you see me? I'm over here. You know what I mean? Like, they over here.
I saw this bird. It had like a whole like little area. It cleaned all the debris, like all the fucking twigs and shit out of it. It had this dance. It was able to like change the eye colors and shit. I'm like, all for the bitches. I need to stop saying bitches. This is about the war on women. But you get what I'm saying.
I know, right? See, you are part of the problem.
Yeah, I probably am.
My other pet peeve. My other pet peeve is calling women girls. Because you call a black man a boy, we got a whole problem.
That is true.
But I mean, I do it too. That's the thing about it. Like, I've been intentionally attempting like not to do it, but that's another kind of a power double standard, if you will. Like, we can call women girls, but you can't call men boys without it being disrespectful. But that's just another side note. See, I am for the women. So all the women that think I'm like just talking shit about feminism and I'm a pick me and all this shit, like it's not true. Okay, I'm for you. Just value your fucking womb, and we'll all be okay.
Yep. Power to the pussy, I guess.
Exactly.
You about to say something ignorant, Daryl?
I mean, I don't want to go there. So
No, go ahead.
What you said? You gotta stop calling women bitches, and she said she gotta stop calling women girls.
Yeah, and I get that because
and I was thinking I gotta stop calling women cunts, but
nigga, you gotta stop hanging with them white people now. But speaking of which, and we should have brought this up before. The whole term of female. What are your thoughts on that?
Come on, man.
About female being a pejorative term.
Don't even go there. No.
I mean, I get the point that female is literally only talking about the body parts. You have female, you have male. So, it is what it is. I don't find it offensive. I am a female. Like, scientifically, I am the female of my species. Now, you don't hear people refer to men as males as often as you hear women referred to as females. So, if you're looking at the equality of it, it seems wrong. But if we're looking at the facts of it, who gives a fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is that really oppression? Because someone called you a female. Someone calling you a girl is not even oppression. We're just talking about, respect. You know what I mean? Respecting equality levels, but that's not oppressive by any means. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so if you find it offensive, like, okay, tell the people who you deal with on a daily basis that, you don't like that term and blah, 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 blah. Like, that should not be, like, you don't need to be all over social media, like, female is this negative word, and it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, we literally have bigger fish to fry. Like, I would love if all the feminists turn their attention to the school to prison pipeline, where you are sending your children while you go out and try to play man. You're sending your children to the school to prison pipeline and giving your power away. But
and they're also sending
you want to get on
to. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but you want to argue. You want to argue about the female, a word, somebody calling you a female, but you're literally sending your children to jail to try to go out here and earn the same wages as a man. Like, I don't be trying to say like it's stupid, but nigga, it's stupid. Like, like I be trying not to go there, but it just seems retarded to me. Like, you're gonna send your child, you're gonna send your son, who you say has the power to oppress you, you're going to send your son into a system where he learns to oppress women while you're fighting the same system. If that ain't stupid, like, if that's not dumb, then what is the strategy? Sending your child to be educated in a sexist system while also trying to fight sexism on the, like, hey, why don't you cut it off at the source and stop sending your children to be educated by a sexist school with probably a male principal and male teacher. Well, not a lot of male teachers, but your math and science teachers are usually predominantly men. Like, you're literally programming them to be sexist or allowing them to be programmed to be sexist while trying to fight sexism on the other hand. Like, dizzy as fuck.
Yeah.
It's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of bullshit. Thank you so much for your time and just being transparent and calling women out on their bullshit, and then also empowering women on how they can empower themselves without the aid of men. Thank you.
Exactly. I'm here. I'm here for the women, even though they don't like me as much as the men do half the time. But hey, I'm still here for them. I'm a doula. Like, that's where my whole womb thing comes from. Like, I do birth work, y'all. I know the power of the womb. Just saying.
Yes, I'm also here for the women. And yeah, I'm not no doula, but let me just stop right there.
Yeah, I'm here for the women too, man.
Well, when you get to the point of having children, make sure your woman has a doula.
Of course. Yeah.
Doula Abnegada?
No, nigga. Oh. God damn it. Yo.
Yeah, but I'm here for the women too, man. You know, just basic conversation, man. You know, I don't want nothing sexual, nothing like that. You know,
you definitely sound like a male feminist right now,
basic conversation, like the feminist. I want to talk and just know where you coming from. You know, I think you really should have on the show. Put it on me, and then we can just have the conversation.
Feminists come from where every other woman comes from, and that's the skin gland. All right, so
that's a gland that's in the back of your throat, right?
So, Ajaya, if people want to find you, where can they find you?
All right, so I am Ajaya Divine, AJAYADIVINE, on all platforms. Also find me, so that's Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can also find me at ajayadivine.com, and you'll find links to all my social media there. And my book, Sister, A Woman's Guide to Self. I told y'all I'm for the women, man.
Yeah, I definitely ain't write no book. But again, we appreciate you, and you enjoy the rest of your night.
I'm coming out with an audiobook. How y'all doing?
All right, peace.
All right.
Thank you.